Hello, welcome to the Coffee and History or History and Coffee project. So, I wanted to make sort of an introduction video. I've made a couple of videos so far, and I've been mostly uploading them to Facebook, and I just started this YouTube thing. So, just wanted to cover some of the goals I have and sort of the origins of this project, and sort of give everybody a better understanding of what's going on here. So, uh, History and Coffee. This project has been in the works for a couple of years now. This started actually with a couple of friends back in I'm going to say 2016, and I had sort of stumbled across the sort of the some of the events that had taken place during the African Bush Wars of the 60s and 70s. And I was honestly just blown away by everything that happened there, and that I'd never really even heard of it. A lot of these countries I'd never even heard of. And I've always considered myself a history buff. But just that's such a huge um, part of history that affects so many different things could just sort of squeak under the radar there. And then, of course, the other side of it is what is known about this is just this huge campaign of misinformation. There's really no accurate sources out there outside of talking to the guys that served themselves, which I actually did go out and do. Through Facebook, I started a page called Rhodesian Light Infantry Remembered. And the idea with that was to consolidate, um, or rather, provide a place for veterans of these bush wars to get together and give their firsthand accounts of what took place over there. This is a fairly recent conflict. These guys are still, a lot of these guys are still running around. And being that this is such an obscure part of history, um, it's not every day that people come up to these guys and ask them to tell their story. So they were really happy to do so, and I was really surprised with the sort of the outpouring of support that the page got from day one. I mean, it was a month, and we were up to 2,000 members, and there was some bumps in the road and things like that I'm not going to discuss, but it really turned into a great project, and that's still going on right now. I've since turned it over pretty much to the veterans themselves to run the page so they can run it as they like. I'm just a sort of a third party observer at this point. That was always really my intention there. So once you pull on this sort of unknown or glazed over history thread, it just keeps going and going, and you run across all these topics. I mean, you can just in sub-Saharan Africa alone, you can go all the way back to the Zulu Wars, and there's just so many things that took place in this part of the world that affected the rest of the world. And I had made sort of posts and things about it. I've spoken about it, with people, of course, in private. I'm always been a long-winded guy. um, and so I'd been getting a lot of suggestions over the years. Hey, why don't you do sort of a podcast or maybe a YouTube channel or something? You can, people tell me that I have a sort of a matter of fact way of explaining this shit. Um, you know, uh, sort of making it a little bit more understandable than listening to some asshole on the History Channel with a British accent use big words, because I can't fucking stand that. That's how you learn anything. You remember something your buddy told you, but you're not going to remember something your history professor said. And when shit like this is important, you really should retain this stuff. So that's my goal with this project, is to uncover these little hidden gems of history and present them in a way that people are going to be able to understand. And then, of course, we'll hang out, we'll have some coffee. I've got some folks coming in to help out with the project. A good friend of mine, Marco, who used to run the Don't Meme on Me Facebook page, which is an excellent, probably the one of the best meme pages out there. He's coming in to do the sort of the visuals of it. Another guy, Zach, he's coming in. Guys got a lot of history and computers, graphic design, things that I don't understand. These guys are volunteering their time to come in and help this project out. I'm going to have some other folks come in and do guest lectures and things like that. Maybe even some. I hope to down the road do some sort of some open forums and discussions and things like that. And but we'll see how it goes. And then as far as the format of these videos, I'm not going to mess with it too much. I've had people tell me, turn your phone sideways so it fills the screen and this and that. And that's not really what this is for. This is me discussing something, and hopefully people listening to it. It doesn't. I don't think that all kinds of magic camera bullshit is going to really change that. And honestly, I'm presenting this in a way that I'm not using too many visual aids. So if you're in the car or something like that, you can put this shit on and you can listen to it and hopefully get something out of it. So those are my overall goals with the project, history of the project, and I appreciate the support I've gotten so far. And once I get these couple of things out of the way that I want to make videos on up front, I'm absolutely going to be taking any suggestions you might have. And please don't think that there's any sort of stupid questions out there. I mean, you can ask me anything. I'll be happy to comment on it. And I think a lot of the times these answers might surprise you too, because there's a lot of these commonly held beliefs about history that are just complete and utter bullshit. So I thank you all for your support, and stay tuned.